wala talaga ako ng policy, so I'm better protected and have coverage.
Alright. This question naman is for Carla. Carla, now that the pandemic situation has improved, we're coming to the tail end of it, people are calling it endemic already. Are Filipinos still availing of health products right now?
Yes, Jet. In fact, pre-pandemic, we've already seen a lot of Filipinos becoming financially aware of the impact of having a critical illness. And at Sun Life, in fact, one of our bestsellers, which actually Piolo has, Sun Fit and Well, it has always been a top-selling product for us. And it's not selling just because our advisors recommend it, but it's because Filipinos are looking really to get the most comprehensive insurance protection plan. And Sun Fit and Well is actually one of those. Because as you said a while ago, no, itong Sun Fit and Well plan na to, it's not just for coverage for critical illness, but if you don't get sick, you get the benefits of having cash upon retirement. So I would say, Jet, yes, Filipinos are becoming financially aware. Apart from that, they're taking active action to be prepared in the future.
That's true. So I think the good thing, at least a silver lining of what happened from the pandemic, as much as we didn't want it to happen, it gave more importance for Filipinos to really appreciate the value of life insurance. Si Ms. Tess, do we have any questions from our friends from the media?
Okay, our first question is from Kate Adahar of Random Review.
Hi, good afternoon. For Miss Carla, you just launched Donnie Pangilinan as your newest health ambassador. At what age would you advise Filipinos to start getting insurance? And are there packages that are affordable for the young ones?
Okay, so yes, Kate, we have a suite of health protection products that one can avail of. Siguro to answer your first question, how early should you start? Now, I think for us at Sun Life, we believe the moment you start earning money, you start already getting prepared for the future. And one of those, I would say, building blocks towards financial stability is life insurance and a health insurance product. Now, your second question, are there affordable health protection products? The answer is also yes. Because depending on your budget and depending on your need, we have the most basic, meaning if you get hospitalized, you get a certain benefit, to the most comprehensive, which was the Sun Fit and Well Advantage Plan, which I talked about a while ago. So depending on your age and your budget, a financial advisor can recommend the best plan for you.
Alright, thank you so much, Ms. Carla. Maybe I'll jump on the question that was just asked back to Piolo naman. How does it feel to have Donnie Pangilinan now join as one of our newest Sun Life ambassadors? Being that he is a perfect example of someone from the youth, diba? So,
Just like what I said kanina, I started buying policies as soon as I started working. So as early as in your early 20s, as soon as you start working, actually, it's important for us to set aside certain part of your income for not just for your future, but for your health. So I'm really excited as to what we're gonna do with Donnie, especially with our on-ground events, starting off with the Cycle PH. And he's an ambassador, and it's a good reminder for us to not think about waiting to get old to start planning for our future, but as early as in your 20s, as soon as you start working, or if you can ask your parents to set aside a budget for you so that you're all protected, not just yourself, but also the whole family. So you start at any age, just like what Ms. Carla said. So I'm happy that Donnie is part of our family now.
all right. Any other questions from our friends from the media?
Yes, the second one, I will ask this. John Bueno from Gal.com. Hi, John.
Hi everyone, I'm John from Kumakaw.com, and of course, congratulations PJ for this exciting event. We saw you do a game show today. Is that something in your plans in the future? Do like a game show platform, some sort?
I guess I had my training with ABS-CBN. I would pitch it once in a while for some shows before, and there had been some offers. But I want to stick to what I know better, which is, I guess, film acting or TV. Should there come a time na, there's a good offer or good material, siguro why not? I enjoy doing it. I guess it's just wearing a different hat, but it's a good practice. It's a good exercise for me as well.
And you're back to production as well.
Yes.
How's that going for you?
We just posted our recent film, Walang Kapares. It's gonna premiere on Prime Amazon on March 23, if I'm not mistaken. And we have a couple of films on our slate, so it's been busy. Tomorrow we have another meeting to plan for the next quarter, because we already have some films lined up, and I'm also doing another film which I will be resuming the shoot by next week. So dire-diretso, aside from acting, I'm also producing in some of my films, and also the films that Spring Films and Cornerstone are producing.
That's awesome. And going back to, of course, Sun Life, have you already had like a critical sort of illness, and how has your insurance helped you?
I'm thankful to the Lord. Wala pa naman. At 46, I'm still active, and I'm happy with the Sun Fit and Well insurance, and I get myself covered every year. I always get a new policy, and yeah, being with Sun Life almost half my life, I think I'm pretty covered.
No, but I'm sure a lot of ladies would ask, is there gonna be like a second coming of Inigo anytime soon?
Huwag naman natin pangunahan. Baka pag dumating mas maganda, mas surprise, di ba? Para ako rin mas surprise. Wala pa naman on the horizon.
Okay, that's all from me.
Thanks, John.
Piolo, I just want to add to the question that was asked. No, you mentioned that you regularly update your policy. So right now, to date, how many insurance policies do you have with Sun Life?
I've been with Sun Life more than 15 years, so I would say every year I would get one or two. And my sister is also here. My sister is a financial advisor, so there's a personal relationship, and she always updates me whenever there's a new plan. And minsan ako pa yung nangungulit sa kanya, te, ano bang bagong plan natin dyan para naman, we're well covered. It's not just me. It's like what I always reiterate, my family. Ano yun, te? Ha? Ayun, hi. Hi ka naman, te, sa lahat.
Ate Chiki, say hi. Sorry.
Hello po, good afternoon.
Yun yung kamukha ko. Yeah, no, isang kaway. Yeah. Alright, but well, okay lang yun, te. Ako nga nahihiya, wala akong magawa eh. Yeah, but I always update every year, and I make sure that I know what is new. That's what's good about Sun Life. They always come up with new policies that cater to your needs and your budget. So I try not to count, so it's not to quantify it. But as long as I know I'm protected, my family is covered, then I'm good. But one is never enough, or two it's not enough. So you have to get other policies, because it's not just insurance. Ms. Carla, you wanna add to that for the other insurance or other plans that we can avail of?
Yes, so thank you, Piolo, for that wonderful question. I would say no, seriously, kasi over our lifetime, we have several financial needs depending on our life stage. Back when I was single, probably I just had one or two to cover a certain financial need, because my goal back then was to build wealth and grow my money. Now that I'm married, of course, I have another person depending on my income. And so I would add to my life insurance coverage and even top up my own health insurance coverage. So that's correct, Piolo. Over our lifetime, our needs change. So one policy is never enough.
So, adding to that, Carla, when can you say that you have enough? Or is there really no time masasabi mong, okay na ako? Kasi one of the things I think most of our advisors would get whenever they do talk to prospects, diba, sasabihin, meron na ako insurance.
Okay, so very good question again, Jen. I would say basic rule of thumb, I would encourage people to have three, no? One for life, meaning insurance protection, income protection, so that anything happens to you, your family will be able to live life regardless of the income. The second would be a health insurance coverage, because a health protection plan will ensure naman that you don't get into debt covering for treatment. And the last would be probably a financial product to help you grow your wealth or build your wealth. So that one naman for expenses or goals that are expected, meaning you plan for. And then the other two, life insurance and health protection, is for expenses that are unexpected. So I would say 3 is a good rule of thumb.
Three is a good rule of thumb. So
Nice.
savings, investments, and protection, of course.
Yes.
Alright, feeling ko si
What about
Piolo
you,
has-
Chet? How many policies you have?
I have a lot that are yet to be signed. But I have a couple as well, being that I'm also in the beginning stages of my life. I want to make sure that I have comprehensive protection in case any of those conditions may happen. So, tularan kaming lahat. Kumuha din kayo ng insurance. So, mga wala pa dito. Alright, next up, may we call on Pink Siazon of pep.ph.
Good afternoon. For Piolo. Hi, Piolo.
Hi.
You mentioned earlier that you really set aside your earnings for insurances. How do you divide? Like, can you give us an idea how you divide your earnings for, let's say, how much of your earnings goes to rewards for yourself, for your family, and for savings?
Okay, malalaman yung sekreto ko. I don't necessarily quantify or put a percentage to my spendings. What I do is whatever I earn, I just put it in the bank primarily, and then from there I set aside 10% for my tithe, and then the rest goes to savings, because I try as much as possible not to spend as much on things that are just the material things, or let's say mga luho. I reward myself with an insurance. I reward myself with getting a time deposit. I reward myself with getting new policies. But from time to time, I also reward myself with trips, with my family. And I don't I don't spend on things na sayang lang. So I try not to spend my money and just put it in the bank, invest, get protection from insurances, and just let the money work for you. Hindi ako yung tipo na nag-splurge, and I always make sure that I'm protected. That's why I don't spend beyond my means. I don't spend on things that are just really unimportant. And I guess it's a big factor that you don't change your lifestyle just because you earn more. It's important for us to know and give importance to our future. Of course, not just para sa sarili natin, but also our families. Ganon.
In life, siguro, what can you share with us when it comes to, how you keep yourself from being blindsided, like by illnesses or other difficulties? I mean, what should be the right mindset that you set for yourself?
Information is really important. Information is key, and knowing your options, of course, is really important, so that we'll know better what to do with what we have and how we can better protect ourselves. So you gotta be smart. You gotta be smart with your money. You gotta be smart with your savings, your earnings, and it's important to take control of that. And there should be self-love. You should learn how to value your health, yourself, and your life and your mind. And knowing that these are all just temporal things, and what's important is your present and your future, and not to the most practical things, not to spend it on things that will just pass, and also take care of yourself by just like what we've been talking about, living healthy, eating right, and having a balanced life.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So you really see that Piolo really invests in himself, di ba? Yung mga...
Sarili ko yung produkto ko eh.
I like what Piolo said about self-care, because a lot of people say self-care is going on spa dates or distressing. But self-care also means taking care of our health, because diba, you're you're the biggest money-making machine. And if you don't take care of your health, your ability to build wealth also gets hampered. So, very good insight, Piolo. Thank you for that. We'll use that for a campaign.
I guess, to put it in layman's terms, kasi, I was just talking to Sir Don about it. For us to be able to enjoy our health better, or for us to be able to enjoy our wealth, we should have better health. Diba? Mahirap naman may wealth ka nga, tapos hindi ka naman healthy. So it comes in hand. It comes hand in hand.
Yeah, for you to be able to enjoy the things that matter, spending time with your family, enjoying all the hard work that you've put in, you have to be healthy to be able to enjoy that. Diba? And making sure that, of course, you have protection gives you that peace of mind that no matter what happens, you can still live life to the fullest. Do you have another question, Ms.
Yes, we have Ms. Lea Saterio of Philippines. Hello, PJ.
Hi, Miss Lea.
How are
It's
you?
been a while.
I miss you.
I miss you too. Good to see you.
Can we ask about your relationship with, your partnership with, Sun Life for 15 years? How will you describe it? And with Miss Carla, vice versa, the questions, can you answer it also?
Okay, just to give a brief or a summary of how it all began and how the journey with Sun Life has been. They actually approached me, our foundation, my sister and our foundation, family foundation, Hembrio Foundation. They wanted to donate to the foundation, and then from there we had an exhibit, my photography exhibit that went to the foundation as well, because we sent kids to school, and from there they tapped me to be one of the first endorsers, ambassadors of Sun Life, and it's. From there, my sister also became a financial advisor. My son became an ambassador as well. So it's changed my life for the good. And every year there's always a new campaign. And now I'm a game show host, so I don't know what's coming along next. Let's see.
All right.
I would say our relationship with Piolo has been serendipitous. I mean, as Piolo mentioned a while ago, we approached them not because of an endorsement deal, but we didn't even know that he was the man behind the foundation. It was really just an effort for Sun Life to help typhoon-stricken victims at that time. And so we were pleasantly surprised when we found out that it was Piolo who was behind that foundation. And so we started with just a few activities in support of that foundation. And as I was saying, it was serendipitous because at that time, the financial crisis hit. And we thought before we can even promote Sun Life, our products and our services, there was really an important need to educate Filipinos with regards to their financial needs. And in fact, it has been, I would say, life-changing for Sun Life as well, because he had been instrumental in getting more Filipinos financially aware. And I'm sure most of the media would say, at that time, financial products were just confined in the business pages of the newspaper, or even in media programs or news programs where we talk about interest rates, returns. But Piolo made insurance and personal finance mainstream. And it's not because he's an endorser, but rather he practices it himself. And so I would say that partnership has allowed both of us to grow, not just Piolo, but Sun Life as well. And it has been a wild journey so far. And we're very thankful to Piolo for that.
The feeling is mutual. Thank you, Ms. Carla.
All right, thank you. Can I ask another question for Piolo, for PJ? Because he mentioned that he's been back to acting in the movies. Can you give us a few?
Gosh, I just finished doing a series with Alessandra. It's gonna come out on Netflix. It's an 8-episode series, the first of the first Netflix Filipino series that Netflix actually acquired, and I jumped to Gomburza right away for a special participation. I'm playing the role of Pedro Pelaez. I'm done shooting, and then next week. Apo, just a few scenes that I had to do. It's gonna come out, I think, in December. And then next week, I'm gonna start filming for The Ride, which I'm doing with Kali Chari. It's a suspense crime thriller. And it's gonna come out sometime this year as well. And then I'm jumping on to another show, which is a musical, Ibarra, which is gonna come out in June.
Yeah.
So I'll be busy with that, and shortly after that, I'm touring in July, and then there's another film I'm doing when I get back in August or September. So it's a pretty booked year. And
You're making busy an understatement, ah.
hindi ko rin alam kung ba't ginagawa tayo. Well, blessings keep coming in, so you just take on the challenge, and just I always get inspired when I go to an uncharted territory and challenge myself to come up with something that I've not done before. So I guess bottom line is to just really stay active, to just keep on doing what you're doing and doing what you know best.
Alright, thanks, PJ.
Thanks, Leia.
Hindi ka naman masyadong busy.
Hindi ko nga alam eh.
But what's amazing is he still manages to stay very fit and well.
I think it's part of the territory. Just like what I said kanina, how can you enjoy your wealth if you're not healthy, diba? So you are your own product, and for you to be able to enjoy the fruits of your hard work, you want to be mobile, you want to be agile, you want to be active.
So, because we just mentioned how busy you are, what is the health regimen of Piolo Pascual? What's a day in your life in terms of your diet, your exercise? What is it that you do to look like that?
I give importance to sleep. I give importance to positivity. Keeping your mind free of any negative elements around you, and being motivated by the things that come your way with work. And I reward myself with the food I eat, and of course a good balance of things. Hindi naman pwedeng straight ka lang dito kasi magkakaroon ng point na mabe-burnout ka, di ba? So I always make it a point to balance it out by sleeping right, eating healthy, and also exercise. I train every day. I want to be prepared for anything that comes my way, especially like I'm doing a race. So for you to be able to finish that race and finish well, you got to be prepared for that. And I guess it's important to give value to your own being, especially nowadays that there are so many things happening around us with all the chaos. In the midst of all the sufferings, it's important for us to be that light that can inspire people, and just stay positive para hindi mabigat yung pakiramdam.
Optimistic and being positive. What about you, Carla? What's your health?
Oh, Miss Carla, what about you?
Naka-hot seat mo ako, Piolo. Okay, so health regimen, I try to stay active. So meaning I do strength training twice or thrice a week just to get myself active. With the pandemic, it has restarted that, so that's a good thing, I would say. The second is, as Piolo also mentioned, I try to keep a healthy diet. So I eat my veggies kahit na minsan ayoko, but it's part of living well. And I always get annual health checkups. So the annual health checkups will let me know if there are some things that I need to work on. And then a part of that, of course, is mental health, which is very important. So I try to de-stress by indulging in my hobbies. So that would include watching Netflix. I look out for your series. I also like spending time with my loved ones, because that's also part of de-stressing. And not just loved ones, but also friends. And of course, having myself protected with a health insurance plan.
It's,
What about you, Jed?
Kala mo, dyan ka. Ikaw lang
You run.
I run out of money. No, I'm kidding. Actually, I make sure to get at least 7,000 to 10,000 steps a day. You don't. I think when it comes to health, each has their own way of working out. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a rigid type of diet or exercise. As long as you're doing something to keep yourself moving, staying fit, diet, balancing everything. I think that's the great thing about it. Everything in moderation.
Amen.
Alright, so let's go to our final question. Miss Tess?
Kayo naman.
Three more questions. Okay.
We have Jojo Panaligan na Friday PH.
Hi. Yung first question ko kay Carla. Carla, paano in-address ng Sun Life yung COVID situation, especially at its height? I understand kasi na ang kino-cover lang na illnesses ng Sun Life ay may listahan yon, di ba? And COVID came to us from out of nowhere. So, natulungan ba despite na wala yung COVID sa listahan?
Okay, so that's true, no? So how did Sun Life respond? It was actually featured in one of those videos. We came out with Sun ICU Protect because we recognized that the COVID-19 situation put a lot of Filipinos in a perilous circumstance. So that particular product was meant to address that. But apart from that, before we launched the Sun ICU Protect, Sun Life also extended assistance to our policyholders who were stricken by COVID. How did we do that? We expedited claims, especially for hospitalization benefits. We expedited claims as well for death claims. Apart from that, Sun Life also gave out life insurance protection coverage for healthcare workers during that time. Apart from those, also our philanthropic efforts through our head office in Canada, even locally, we donated PPEs to healthcare workers as a form of protection for these for our frontliners. So, but as far as product is concerned, we did come out with Sun ICU Protect.
Pero may chance ba na masama ang COVID sa list of illnesses? Or if something similar arises in the future, like another pandemic, knock on wood?
Okay, so the way we define critical illness, COVID-19 at that time it's something new. No one was, to be honest, no one was prepared that it was gonna be a pandemic. Now, was it a critical illness at that time? Yes. But today, as far as we know, we already have the vaccines. The death rate has drastically gone down. So I would say it can be a part of a critical illness at that time, but this day it's not. But you can still claim from your health insurance protection if you have a particular benefit which we call daily hospital income benefit. So it means if you're hospitalized, regardless of the illness, you get a certain cash benefit guarantee. And so still it can be covered even though it's not specifically mentioned in the contract that it's COVID-19.
Thanks. My last question goes to Piolo. Piolo, I'm sure when you realized how important insurance is to people, you went out of your way or maybe even invited your loved ones to get one, no? Ano yung napansin mong dahilan or kung saan nagagaling yung hesitation ng Pinoy kung ba't ayaw nilang kumuha? And what was your counter-argument to convince them?
One of the first things I did when I started out, when I started working, of course, was getting insurance, and then eventually right away my son and my family, all my siblings, and the rest of the family. I guess there's a misconception kasi about insurances, so that's why I'm happy with how Sun Life has handled it through the years. Coming out with different policies, and like si Miss Carla, she's a walking Sun Life information. Anything you have to know, you can just ask her. That's why we also have financial advisors. It's important to have that kind of relationship, a personal relationship, that's so that you can explain to your clients or people who are interested to get the kind of information that they need to know, because back in the day, hindi naman natin alam itong mga to, diba? So now we made it more personal. That's why we have the financial advisors that can attend to you personally and just explain everything so that you will know it better or explain it to you better. What can you add to that, Ms. Carla?
Siguro I would say it's a matter of perspective, like Piolo mentioned a while ago. Being financially disciplined takes a while, so that behavior needs to be nurtured, I would say. So we were lucky because Piolo himself is financially disciplined. I mean, he had that perspective at the onset. And so he had that ready mindset to when he talks to a financial advisor. I want to grow my money, I want to protect my income, I want to be able to afford things and grow my wealth for my son and my loved ones. And so I would say it's really a matter of showing Filipinos the value of insurance, why you need it, why it's crucial to have it, especially if you have, I would say, predisposed to certain illnesses. Kasi just one illness, it can plunge a family into poverty. And so this is what we advocate. That's why if you noticed, Sun Life is very big on financial education, because we're also cognizant of the fact that not many Filipinos really appreciate the benefits of having life insurance and health insurance. And so this is why we need you, the media, to become our allies in getting more Filipinos educated on why it is important to be prepared.
And also, using ambassadors like us to be able to send a message across better.
That's true, yes. Because Filipinos, we love Piolo. And so it helps because Piolo is also a walking billboard of Sun Life.
Any follow-up question to that? That's it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jojo. Next, we have Matthew Perez of Daily Tribune.
Hello, everybody. This is Matthew Perez from the Daily Tribune. My question will be for both Carla and PJ. Let's start with Carla. Carla, there are a lot of people who may not have discovered insurance yet, and a lot of the biggest importance that financial advisors are stressing is to start young. What about those who are, say, for example, already in their mid-30s? You will see stuff on Facebook that you won't get as much if you invested in your 20s as opposed to when you invested in your 30s. How would you address this? Wouldn't this be encouraging to people who are, say, in their mid-30s onwards?
So I would say it's never too late, no? Of course, I'll message it first. Why do we advocate people to get insurance early? The reason for that is the premiums are lower or more affordable when you're younger. Now, it doesn't mean that you cannot be covered with insurance already when you're in your mid-30s. What we're saying is it's never too late to start preparing for the future. And so, even those, we have policy owners who started even at their 50s, at their 60s, maybe they get it for their loved ones, maybe they use it to prepare for retirement. And so, there's really not an optimal age to get it. So what we're saying is, it's never too late to start.
All right, thank you. And for PJ, my question would be, what financial advice are you going to give people from all walks of life, particularly your fans?
Well, take it from me, like how I started and how I envisioned, my career. That it's work, and you work for the money, you work for your passion, and you have to set aside a certain part of your income, not just for yourself but for your family and your family's future. And it's really important for us to give extra care to ourselves, our needs, our well-being, so that we'll be able to enjoy the fruits of our hard work. And yeah, just give importance to life. I mean, and enjoy your life, when you can with your loved ones, and be practical about things. These are all practical things. Eating healthy, living right, having the right mindset, and giving importance to your mental health. And don't splurge on things you don't really need. And be wise. Be wise with your earnings. Be wise with your income, and always set aside something for yourself and your family for the future. So these are the things that I live by.
All right, thank you so much.
Alright, I think I'd like to add to Carla's answer earlier, no? Kasi the question was, why when it's younger versus when they're older? Other than the fact that premiums are much more affordable, It's also because in terms of the investments, the younger you are, the more time for the money to grow. But at the same time, do you guys know that we have different insurance products that can also be covered even later stages in life? Meron kaming Sun Senior Care, and there are also insurance policies that don't even need to be underwritten. Meaning, may guaranteed insurance offer siya, it's going to be accepted 100%. So my recommendation is talk to a Sun Life financial advisor today to get the best product that's suited for you. Alright. Sige, do we have any other questions? Mrs. Tess, meron ba?
Yes, we have Marinelle Cruz of Inquirer.
Hi, Marinel.
Hi, Peach. So, ataas na Okay, one question lang daw sabi ni Tess. Anyway, so Peach, yung campaign, well, sakto naman because you were mentioning about financial education. So, campaign is Wheel of Life. So, parang loosely translated, ano siya, gulong ng palad, di ba? Parang, was there ever, parang it means lang na sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. So, was there ever a point in your career or in your life when you felt so down financially, and how did you survive it? Also, you're a film producer, so how do you account for losses? How do you cope with losses? Mga ganyan. Thank you.
Thank you, Marinel. Nice to see you. Mas maraming losses sa production, so hindi ko lang kung ba't siya pinasok. Pero personally sa career ko, I'm thankful, I'm grateful that through the years, I never had to consider quitting just because, you know, my movie didn't become a hit, or because, you know, I'm the kind of person that is very practical. I don't buy things that I cannot afford. So even if I have the money, I make sure that I save up first before I get something, so that I know wala akong babayarang utang. So even if there's nothing coming, or if I'm not earning anything, I don't have to worry about having to pay my loans because hindi ako nangungutang ng hindi ko kayang bayaran. So through the years, you know, that's one of the reasons why I stay afloat, is because I'm always practical. But with the production, it's really hard. How am I able to cope with that? I guess just like the Wheel of Life, you'll never know, you know. But nowadays, it's more calculated risk because of the emergence of the new platforms. So we're happy because we're back on track. But there were years that we had to really take a back seat and just assess for ourselves if what we were doing was still okay, it was still feasible. But of course, there were still some people or investors that trusted us. So we managed to, you know, survive. And just the same, I guess, marami ring risks in terms of producing. But I guess ang importante is your passion and knowing that there are people who believe in your product. So just keep on going, and you'll never know when you can hit the jackpot, just like what we had with Kita Kita. So now because of that, you know, our outfit is able to thrive, and now we have more films lined up. So I guess learning there is to not just be practical, but to also know, you know, what you're getting yourself into. And knowing that there's some benefits to it, you know, not just monetary, but also for everyone else, para hindi naman lahat lugi. So, yeah.
So, take risks pero live within your means.
Definitely. Yeah.
Thank you.
Alam mo na i-word yan, Marinel, ikaw na yan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marinelle. Next, we have Janice Navida of Pungkar.